So we're cautioned against doing bad stand-up comedy, but I will confess that I have been lucky enough to be a stand-up comic in Boston for about 10 years now. And I love it. It's been one of the great passions of my life. But I will say that it's all around the spectrum. I've had nights that were affirmative and amazing and gave me the fuel to keep on doing it. And I have nights that I will straight up confess to you that I just hope I forget before I die. Like, it's all over the place. But what I want to tell you about is a night that was doubled as both one of the greatest career achievements of my entire comedy career, by far the weirdest night I've ever had in comedy, and also the night that I personally came closest to death. And that is because I will tell you about one of the great burdens of my life is that when I was 16, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which if you don't know, it's a digestive disorder, chronic thing. And when I got diagnosed, my doctor was like, hey, you have 10 out of 10 in Crohn's disease. Day to day, doesn't affect me that much, but since I was 16, it's put me in the hospital for more than a week on 4 separate occasions. I've had about 32 inches of my small intestine removed over time. So pretty serious it can get. And this was an evening about 5 years ago, August 2010. I'm having a bad week with it. I'm not feeling well. I'm kind of weak, nauseous, not really eating very well, in a decent amount of pain. But that Friday night, I'm booked at a comedy club, the Comedy Studio in Cambridge, which a lot of the comics here love. It's great audiences. It's always a good time. And I just want to lay in bed and watch movies. I don't have any energy to do anything, but I'm like, you know what? I got to go do this. I'm booked. I don't want to cancel, be that guy, and they have to find someone else, whatever. So I'm just gonna go down, force myself, go down there and do it. And I went up on stage, and it ended up being great. I had a great time. I had a lot of fun. There was a bachelorette party in the front row, which I don't know if you've ever been to a comedy show that's generally death, but they were awesome, all right? We're having a good time, interacting. It's fantastic. I get off stage, and I have that sort of stage rush, the adrenaline. I'm not even feeling bad anymore. I sit down, watch the rest of the show, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm really glad I came out. That was awesome. Good job. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, I'm like, oh, okay, I got to go pee. So I go to the men's room. I'm standing there, do my thing, and about 2 seconds into it, I just get hit with a wave of, oh no, like this is really bad. And I'm not just talking about pain. I have some perspective on pain. There have been nights when I had to sleep in a swivel chair because it hurt too much to lay down. I've had nights where I vomited vegetables that I ate 5 days before that came out pretty much intact because I could not digest them. When I was 16, I went diagnosed to the ER for the first time, and I stood at 5'7". I weighed 77 pounds. All right, so I have a little perspective on what's wrong and what's not. This is a whole different category. Alarm bells are going off. And the last thought I had while I'm standing there is, everything is wrong. That's the last thought I remember having. All right. And then I wake up on the floor, and I'm looking up at this dude with brown hair. I recognize him from the audience, and he's freaked out. He's more scared than I am. He's like, oh my God, are you all right? Are you all right? And he's helping me up. And he's like, do we need to call somebody? Do you need an ambulance? And I'm just like, just give me a second. I think I'm fine. And to this day, 5 years later, I don't remember if he saw my dick when I was laying on the ground. I can't remember. It escapes me, all right? If he did, he was totally cool about it. Didn't say anything, all right, whatever. So he gets me up, and we're moving to the hallway, and it's real tight quarters. It's men's room behind me. It's a very narrow hallway with the cash register, and then right across the way is the women's room door. And people are flocking over, hey, are you all right? Someone give me some water. Are you okay? Everything's fine. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna be fine. Just give me a second. And that was a lie, because 2 seconds later, I passed out again off my feet, and this time crashed through the women's room door, all right? So I'm in the body in the woman's room, legs in the hallway, and this time I just wake up to a girl standing over me, and all she says is, this is the woman's room. That's all she had to say. That was it. And even then, I just passed out twice in public. I'm freaking out. I was all discombobulated. I still had the presence of mind to think you're a bad person. I had that thought, right? And so they get me up again, and I sit down, and I take a second, and I ended up walking out under my own power. I walk out of there, and I ended up going home, and within 15 hours, I was in ICU. And I found out that what had happened was I was having a massive internal bleed, I was hemorrhaging. That's why when I stood up to use the bathroom, gravity's like, all the blood's out of your body, and that's why I passed out. So, I ended up having 16 inches of small intestine removed that time, and I was fine, doing well this day, but I always think about that because I might not be the funniest comic in Boston. Many of you will probably never hear of me after tonight, whatever, but I will say that I am definitely the only Boston comic who powered through a pretty decent set with massive internal bleeding, all right? Like, that was me. Forget the Tonight Show. That's on my resume. That was some dedication. Thank you guys very much. I'm Wes Hedrick.